Hi, welcome to the Deck Network. I'm your host, Mike Danzilio, and we have
co-host Matt Dalton. And remember, here at the Deck Network, it is all decks all the time.
Okay, we have a full show today.
Yeah, a lot going on, huh?
Yeah, today's show is going to be on various composite deckings. For a few years, it was a question, what do we call this? Again, category. We're using that word way too much, but what do we call this?
The category of composites.
Yes.
And this is a show that you've been doing for the last 3 years.
Yeah, this is the third year that I've done this show because this one is always has the highest views on it.
And that's the thing. We don't want to say that one video that we put up is more important than the others, but this video here today might be one of the more important ones that you watch for the Deck Network. It's where it all begins, Mike.
This is where it begins. When people come into my store, and I'm a salesperson that asks questions.
A consultant,
I like to listen. And,
crazy idea that is.
Yes. So people come in and I always ask them, where are you in your deck building process? And they say either, we're doing this, we're doing that, or we're just starting. If you're just starting, this is the show you want to watch.
Here it is.
Because it's a very confusing, and people tell me that all the time, so we try to take the confusion out of the deck building process.
Nice.
So, first of all, my friends at Principia Consulting, they want to call it the composite decking industry.
Do you agree?
That's fine. Yeah, I think that alternative would have been okay, but I'm okay with composite. But as usual.
So, Mike, the definition. What is composite decking?
Glad you asked that. So right here we have a Wikipedia definition. Composite is a material that is made from several different substances. So composite. This is definitely a composite decking industry then. So we're going to go with that. But first we're going to get to a email.
Lots of emails coming in.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Not all of them we're going to talk about on the show because some of them are just little quick. How you doing? This, that. I should get a lot of them that I get from the YouTube site are different, interesting.
From around the world, too.
Yeah, most of them are in, who knows what language they are. Okay.
But Joe from Freeport, that email you sent about my goatee, not funny, buddy. All right. But who are we from today here?
I want to thank you. This is Vinny from Long Island.
Nice.
Because I want to thank you for your time and effort you extend by producing your show. It's fun to watch and very informative. Well, that's what we're trying to do here.
That's the whole idea.
We're information given away, and we want to have fun doing it. A quick story. October of last year, I hired a contractor to build a 600 square foot deck. I had a recommendation from a friend and a quality guarantee that it would be built to code. After watching the contractor install in one day footings, framing, and ledger board attachments, I realized, quote unquote, one day too late I had a substandard contractor. Quote unquote again, to put it nicely. I stopped the job and hired an architect to review what was done. The contractor then walked off the job after taking 1/3 of my deposit. It took several months of certified mail, letter writing, and legal fees to finally convince the contractor to dismantle the deck and refund most of my initial deposit. Now I'm starting over, except this time I'm a little more cautious with who I hire. He says, I did learn from you and your show. He learned a bunch of things, and he said that he has the ability to observe and question the construction methods my contractor was using and recognize substandard workmanship. The sharks are out there and difficult to spot. To keep them out, homeowners should defend themselves with knowledge, forget the trust. Please remind other homeowners, first insist in writing that the deck is built to code and watch what they do. Have a proper contract and have someone review it. Realize some contractors do not know the code or will represent that the work is to code when it is not. If needed, hire a consultant and become educated. P.S. Tell Matt he can grow back the goatee.
Another goatee email. Great. But that's a great email, Mike, and it is scary that there are sharks out there. And these videos, maybe you're not going to end up knowing exactly how to build a deck yourself, but maybe you'll be able to spotlight if someone is building it wrong, which is a big thing.
Oh, if you just watch some of the ones we've done in the past month with deck framing, hardware, footings.
If it doesn't seem like it's right to you, there's a good chance that you might want to question it. If it's all happening in one day very fast where it's
well, you can do that. You could put your footings in, and then, depending upon the size of the deck, and you can make your ledger attachment to the house, and you could build your frame, and it'll be just so you're not resting it on top of the footings. You could put...
Because those need time to cure.
Yeah, you could put temporary legs down on it, and all that was fine. I used to do that years ago when I used to build a deck.
All right,
we're going to start today's show with... the TimberTech line, because TimberTech has something in every category. So let's jump in on the TimberTech composites. Now, in their value option,
and there seems to be options within the options, and there are, with composite decking, many different companies, many different manufacturers.
Oh yeah, okay. We're going to talk about the top 5 brands, because the top 5 brands have 80% of the decking sales in the U.S. The top 20 brands have 95%.
Wow.
So the top 5 brands, sure, they have the lion's share, because the big boys like Trex and TimberTech, they have over 50% just with their sales right there.
They have the marketing in place.
Yeah, they are just, they got everything set up, and that really works well for them. So just because we're talking about the top 5 brands, if you see a product in the next tier that is really nice, it may be very good. Now, by watching some of the videos that we've done in the last couple of weeks, we have some beautiful decking. You know, for instance, the Gossan decking, beautiful. The Zuri decking, incredibly beautiful. You know, we would have no reservations on having anybody build a deck using those products. They just don't have the distribution as some of these larger ones. But again, if the product is real good, in a few years they'll be getting a lot of people to buy it. So let's get into the composite decking. Now, composite decking has wood and plastic in the mix, and there's always a little bit more to it. So this is their TimberTech's, their Reliaboard.
Now this is more of the price point?
Oh yeah, this is the value option.
Okay.
Reliaboard doesn't have a groove because the clips for this decking are expensive. So you could use the camo tool, I don't think you would use the Hidfast, because it's just those cleats or those nails are a little more expensive, or just screw it through the top. I don't really think you should be putting nails through the top of the decking. The product moves around a little too much. Okay, this is their twin finish line. They have 3 colors. This has been their mainstay for many, many years. Now this stuff really looks nice for a couple of years, but as all composite decking does, it's porous, and it has the wood in it. So it's going to fade, it's going to stay, and also going to mold. So what TimberTech has done is they're still producing this, because I have a friend who works at a very, very large lumber yard, and he says that 40 or 45% of the decking that they sold last year was still the composite decking.
Oh wow!
Well,
and that's at a lumber yard too.
We don't even sell it here. We just got rid of it. It's just we just had too many issues with it, and we are more than just order takers. We are consulting. We tell people if there's something better, we're going to tell people about that. So let's get into the TimberTech full line of capped composite decking. Now, capped composite decking is a standard composite decking like these other ones are, but they put a cover of polyethylene on top of it. High density,
that means multiple ethylenes.
Well, that's a HDPE, high density polyethylene. It's like what you would see in milk jugs, Coke bottles.
Okay.
That's the most widely used plastic. It is probably the best one for building things because it's color fast, whereas some of the other plastics, they may be stiffer, but they're not color fast, like polypropylene. So back to these, as this is if we watched a few weeks ago, we had Stephanie from TimberTech on. She was talking about this product. This is their TimberTech Earthwood Evolutions Terrain line. It's a value option. They cut out a little bit of material underneath, keeps the cost down. It still has the groove for the clip. It has a newer finish on the outside. It has slight variegations or the streaking on the top, but we've been selling this like crazy because it has a great price point. It's got a 25-year fade and stain warranty. Great look, good stuff. Now they are also in their Earthwoods Evolution line. They have their natural line that came out last year. 3 colors of that one. We have the brownstone, the brick, like a reddish color, and their slate color, a nice dark gray. We sold a lot of these. Then they also have in their Earthwood Evolutions is their tropical collection. This one is the tropical teak. This one is the tropical rosewood and the tropical walnut. All of these in the Earthwood Evolutions line have a 25-year fade and stain warranty. Because remember, the polyethylene cover in the capped composite decking is color fast.
And non-porous.
And it's a little more non-porous, so you're not going to get the fading or the staining on that, and certainly not the mold. You won't see that in any.
Which is huge. You want as little maintenance once the deck is down as possible.
You just want to enjoy it, because that's why, if you wanted to maintain it, you just build a wood deck and stain it every year, and that
Be
would
a slave
fine.
to the deck, you know.
Okay, so this is their XLM for extra low maintenance, again by TimberTech. They have, years ago, every company has their light gray and light brown. Those have been the mainstays for many years. On PVC decking, the lighter the color, the less it's going to cost. So these would be considered the value options in PVC.
Based on the color up. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, because once you go to darker colors, it costs more to make a darker color. Now this one is called Mountain Cedar. It's a darker color, and it's just a little bit more expensive, but you get a nice dark color with that.
Nice rich color to
so,
it.
again, on the XLM line, and then they have their XLM with their variegations. They may even call it their tropics, but this is my far and away best seller of 2012. This one is the gray. This is called the Harbor Stone. I love this color. This one is the Harvest Bronze. This one has been the most popular one nationwide for a few years. This one is the Rustic Bark. It's almost like a mahogany type decking, really pretty color. And then this one is my own personal favorite, is the Walnut Grove.
That's
this
nice.
is what I have right here at the deck right here at the Deck Network studio. Okay, this is a 4-inch sample. You go to a lumber yard and they give you a bunch of 4-inch samples. You can't tell what the deck is going to look like. You got to go to a specialty place that's going to have these decks set up. Here at my store, they have like 4 foot by 5 foot, big areas where you can see
Every color imaginable, you're going to see it applied here.
Now
at the
this one here,
showroom.
you can't tell that this has nice streaking on it, variegations on this is Harbor Stone, but if you see it in a bigger area, you're going to be able to tell. This is a stunning color. I love it.
And if you're putting these decks up to be around for 20, 25 years, you want to make sure it's going to look great at the end of the project. You want to see it applied before you go ahead and make the decision on the color and the type of texture.
Okay, let's
decking.
look at the Trex products, Matt. You can we got so much stuff over here.
What's going on over here? I feel like Vanna White today. Here, turning the.
Okay, so this one is the Trex Select. This one is the successor to the Accents line. It has the same names of the colors: Saddle, Woodland Brown, Madeira, and the Winchester Gray. It has a nice little cover on it. I think it has a 20-year fade and stain warranty. Trex does a great job with their good, better, best options, and this one is their good. Let's send the next one up the line.
This will be better, I'm assuming.
Yes, and this one is the ones that our friends at Home Depot have. This is their Trex Enhance. Has the two colors, the Beach Dune and the Clamshell. Now back to the Select for a second. That is a non-grooved board. So that would, remember that. So if you wanted to use, you could use camo. You could screw it through the top. You could use all
Head
sorts.
fast gun.
Yeah, use all. See, look at he's getting good with all these things.
I did my
huh?
homework today.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So this one, pretty colors. Everyone seems to like this. This is a grooved board. So this one is their better option. And then we have their best, which is what the pro dealers carry. This is made for the pro dealers. This one is the Trex Transcend. They have their solid colors, and we have the Treehouse, the Vintage Lantern, the Fire Pit Gravel Path and Rope Swing. It's got a nice deep grain on it. Some people really like that.
That'd be good around a pool.
Looks great around a pool. Walkway up to the house. And any of these products, we have dedicated Deck Network videos just for all of these products, so you can go into the library on the Deck Network.
Make yourself
website.
a cup of coffee, click around, check some
There's
of these videos
all sorts
out.
of different
It's
stuff
a
on
wealth
there.
of information.
Okay, let's get to the last one. Now, it's been generally thought of in the composite decking industry that PVC decking is prettier or nicer.
Is that what the P in PVC stands for?
Pretty? No,
Pretty,
I think
no?
it's polyvinyl. Yeah, that's what it goes.
Polyvinyl.
Pretty, I can
more.
understand that you would probably think that. So this one pretty much breaks that mold, because when people think that PVC is better than, or looks better than capped composite, this one may be the best all-around decking. You have it's beautiful, for one thing. It has a 25-year fade and stain warranty. Very, very durable. You quoted me on that one, and when we did the Trex video. So it's this is you will never go wrong with it with Trex Transcend. They have not had any major problems with this product. It's just been.
You're gonna pay a little bit more up front for something.
Yeah, it's
like
a little bit more. It's still a little bit less than these higher priced PVC products. But look what you're getting. You're getting a 25-year fade and stain warranty. Very, very durable. Hard shell on it. Real nice. These are the color. This is what they're doing some of the boardwalks over with because it looks great. It is very, very durable. I mean, I love these products. Let's. Well, we have 3 more. Let's get into the AZAC over here. The AZAC is a full PVC product, whereas the Trex just has capped composites. TimberTech has just. The Trex has the capped composite. TimberTech has all 3 composites, capped composites, and PVC. The AZAC is just a PVC product. So we have their Silver Oak, their newer product called Modena. Nice little light brown color there. Let's look at another. Let's pull some more out here. We have the Murado, which is probably the best seller of their products, and their Redland Rose, little reddish color. The Acacia, which is the dark brown, and it has like, they call it little blonde streaks in it, and people come up to me and they say, is this supposed to have these yellow streaks in it? Well, an acacia tree has those yellow streaks in it. That's why they did such a nice authentic method of getting this to look like the way that it's supposed to look.
True to the original material,
yes.
Which is kind of cool.
The Cobra is it's a little lighter than the Murado. These are their mainstay colors. They're slate gray and brownstone. These were, again, as I said, with the TimberTech, everybody has a light gray and a light brown. This is, I guess, their value option. Been around forever. You're going to see a lot of decks. If you go around looking at decks, you're going to see a lot of decks with these 2 colors right here. And then we have the, these are actually my favorite of the AZAC. This is the Sedona in the Tahoe. Has a nice grain on it. I really like
nice
this
color
one.
To it.
Now, Matt, you usually ask me right now, how do you attach this one? This one is a non-groove deck board, so you'll use Camo Tool,
Head Fast gun,
or the Cortex, which is, I really like the Cortex.
No mushrooming.
No mushrooming.
When you put the screws in there, which is always something to think about.
Let's get into the next company, and that's Fiberon. Now, Fiberon has really carved themselves out a nice niche by making house brand deckings for either big box or some of the roofing and siding company.
And they're sold under the name Fiberon?
No, they're sold under house brand names. At Home Depot, it's called Veranda. But
so you could even have a Fiberon deck and not even realize.
Of course, you won't know what it is.
Okay.
So let's get into their value option is their ProTech line. We have a chestnut color. Again, they put the little scallops underneath it to take out some of the material. This is their ProTech line. This is a pretty good value right here because it's got, it's nice.
With the scallops taken out, is that impacting the amount of weight that the deck can hold?
No, because it's it's fine because it's all.
It's saving you money on the material. Is what it is.
Yes. This one is their Western Cedar. Pretty decking. If you would go back into the library and watch the Fiberon video, they've been doing really well with that one. And this one is their Gray Birch in their ProTech line. Nice. It says it has a 20-year fade and stain warranty on it.
It's a nice looking working man's type of deck. Yeah, that's a great
decking. Now this one is their higher end capped composite. Let's see, we got a few of them over here.
This is the Horizon line.
This is the Horizon line. This one is their Graystone. It's a gray with some variegations on it. But this one is the gray that I like of their whole line. This one is their Castle Gray.
It's like it got some white in there.
It has white variegations on it, which is very unique.
Yeah.
I really like it.
The other manufacturers don't have something.
Nobody has a white one. I've never seen anything like that. That's a real unique color. This is their Ipe Fiberon likes to have, if you look at their their pictures or their brochures, they have random streaking, and they try to do that a little bit more. They feel that that's a little more wood-like. So when you look at their brochures or their website, the photos on it, you'll see that it looks like it has a little bit more of it.
It's calculated to look random, which is kind of an oxymoron when you think about it.
Yes, this it is. And this is their rosewood, nice darker color, and their Tudor brown cap composite.
Looks like
Yeah, it's got plenty of variegations on it. Now, again, since Fiberon is such a large company, they make they make composites and capped composites, but they also make PVC. And this one is a nice PVC decking. This one is their Spanish cedar. Nice colors. And this one is their Jatoba. Now, Jatoba, I think, is a wood or a tree.
Jatoba.
Nice colors. Okay, then we have our final one is Evergreen. Now, Evergreen sells a lot of decking, that's for sure. And about 10 years ago, they were the first to come out with a board that had an embossed grain on it. And when I first saw this stuff, I was like, wow, this stuff's really nice. But so they have their standard composite, which is on this line of standard composite. This one is their Cape Cod gray. Now remember, when these are new, they have a different color to them. After they've been outside in the sun for a little while, they'll fade to the color that they want it to be. So that's one thing that's happened in the last 6 or 8 years, is they've pre-engineered the fade into it.
So these samples are with assuming the fade, or these are pre-fade?
This is when it comes off of the stack.
That's an interesting point that you make there, because you have to remember the color that you're putting down isn't the end color.
Yes, but in their sample kits they have little pieces of what it looks like 1 year faded on it. This one is their cedar color, and it looks like cedar. Their redwood. Weathered wood. Again, it looks like weathered wood or weathered cedar. And this one is forest green, not to be confused with forest gump. Okay.
Life is like a box of decking. Wait,
yes,
no,
and so
come on.
You don't see too many of these, but you know, every once in a while someone calls me, do you have green decking? Because this is good for a porch if you're trying to match some colors.
Matching the trim on the house or something like that.
Okay, we haven't done a video on Evergreen yet, because that's where I'm going next week. I'm going to go to Providence.
You got room on the bus for me, or how's that going? I'm going to stick back.
This is work, you know. You think that it's
You're
all
in the
fun
trenches
and
here. I guess I'll stick back in the studio, make sure the lighting is right.
Having lobster and filet mignon is part of the perks of that, but
just call me if you have an extra spot.
Yeah, but it's work. When I go to these shows, I'm worn out when I'm
And you are coming back with some great content for the Deck Network, so it's all good stuff.
Now, let's talk about Matt's little project here.
Yes. We already started fishing through a ton of emails that you guys are sending in for the new segment coming up, Show Us Your Deck. And what this is, basically, send us pictures of your deck, big, small, whatever it is. We want to see it. We'll put it up here on the big screen, then translate it back to the internet, so everyone could see it.
We're going to put it on
the pointers in there.
Yeah, we'll put it on the website, because we have plenty of room on it, and that was my project for this last winter, was learn how to do the websites on my own.
And you're doing great with it. And maybe next week we'll start with my deck. It's on some of the initial videos, but maybe to get the ball rolling, I'll give you guys a good look at my deck. So
Matt built
do that. So
he had some consulting help,
and it's still standing. It even saw a hurricane after we put it together.
That deck's not going anywhere.
It ain't going nowhere,
because that thing was built properly.
And I was telling you, when initially when Hurricane Sandy hit, I'm like, oh, I hope we did the right thing with the deck, but we did, because it didn't go anywhere. So.
Years ago, maybe over 20 years ago, when I used to live on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, we had Hurricane Bob, and I remember about 3 years prior to that, I built a deck on the roof of a house.
So now you're like, at that point,
and I'm going, oh man, is this thing? I mean,
hope you were having a good day that day when you built it.
So I drove past it, and that deck was still on there. It was in a full. I mean, you can see from that. Cape Cod is narrow, so when you're on top of this hill, on top of the house, you can see the ocean on both sides. It's
right there.
Yeah, and it is. It took the full brunt of, and that was a Category 1 hurricane, because you're not going to get full 2s and 3s, or for that matter 5s up here. The water's just too cold. But nonetheless, we have some severe storms in the Northeast, and we don't expect that to change any.
And that's the thing. You want to be prepared for those extreme situations. Most likely, your deck, just the normal wear and tear, it's going to be fine. But when nature throws itself a big curveball, you want to make sure that your deck is up to snuff with that. And these videos is a great first step for you.
Okay, that's it for today's show. Again, if you have any questions, it's Mike at thedecknetwork.com. matt@thedecknetwork.com.
matt@thedecknetwork.com. Show us your deck. Send us your questions. We're going to approach them in every next video that we do. Thanks for watching this one. Click around. Plenty more deck networks to see. Mike?
Have a great day.
Ciao for now.
Bye now.